Ever since I was born, I had a permission to go wherever we need to go. I ain't asked nobody for permission because they ain't got to deny no permit because I ain't asked for one. If you going in a town with 4,000 people bringing 30,000, you don't need no permission. A week before the march, the Court of Appeals said, well, we reversed. They shouldn't have been tried as children. Some of the national leaders said, well, we should cancel the march. I said, we're still in jail. They said, well, maybe they'll work it out. I said, maybe we need to go in there. And we went in there with 30,000, and a week later I stayed. I went and met with the governor and got him out. What I'm saying is that what we've lost is the ability to be active. And the reasoning is, well, we need a new tactic. Well, then what is it? I mean, all these black leaders talking about we don't rally no more like the Nationals. We don't march no more like the Civil Rights. We got a new tactic. Well, what is it? Don't keep telling me you got something new and don't tell me what it is. If you scared, say you scared. Don't act like something wrong with me. Just say you scared and sit down and shut up and let somebody that's not scared do what needs to be done. You ain't got no new tactic. Ain't nothing new about you having cocktail sips. Ain't nothing new about that. We've been doing that for 200 years. Which is why I started. Ain't nothing new about what happened with Obama. It's a progression of what we was doing. Ain't nothing new. It just went from a state level to a national level. I was on TV the other night. One of these conservative blacks, well, you know, Sharpton, y'all, Ward County been through here. I made it on my own merit. Civil rights didn't do that. I made it on my own merit. Look at my resume. Look where I went to school. Look where I worked. Civil rights, he told me. Civil rights didn't write my resume. I said, you're right. Civil rights don't make somebody read your resume. They ain't first qualified Negro in America. Every Negro's qualified before you, but their qualifications wasn't considered. I remember years ago I went to the Grammy Awards with Michael Jackson. He got up and won 5 Grammys that night. And every time he got up, I want to thank the marketing department at Sony Records for making me a crossover artist. And every time he got up, the madder I got. Finally, after the Grammys, I went over to the hotel he was staying. I said, Michael, let me explain something to you. You ain't the first Negro could dance. James Brown could dance. Jackie Wilson could dance. But they were not allowed to dance where you've been allowed to dance. They were locked into a segregated chitlin circuit. You've been allowed to perform at theaters and arenas. Martin Luther King and Fannie Lou Hamer, Medgar Evers, that's who crossed you over. Sony didn't cross you over. Y'all thank the wrong people. But it ain't even just gratitude. If you have the wrong historic analysis, you won't understand where you are, why you're there, and how you're going to stay there. A few years later, James Brown got in trouble. They put him in jail. Y'all know he was like a daddy to me. I went down there to fight for him. I called Michael, I called Prince. Y'all should say something. Speak on his behalf. Even if you don't want to say nothing, come down and visit. Michael said, well, you know, it's a little too black, a little too controversial for me. But I lived long enough to see Michael have to call me and James Brown. Oh, you get caught out there in your illusion all you want. This systemic structural inequity ain't personal. It's going to hit every one of y'all. Yeah. One minute you're a rising star, the next minute they got you handcuffed, perk walking. If you don't confront the system, it's not going to spare you. And that's why we need a network. And that's why we need to connect with the church and other groups. That's why we need the balance of our work in different lanes. What helped Dr. King was the church was with him, and the threat of Malcolm and the Nation and the Panthers and white America had to choose. You act like we each other's problem, we each other's solution.
That's right.
What helped Jesse in the 80s was Farrakhan was there to the left. And we gave America choices, and our people had ways of mobilizing. It's amazing to me, Scott, in the 60s, you had the Big Six, Randolph, Farmer, Martin Luther King, Roy Wilkins, Whitney Young, Floyd McKissick, John Lewis. Outside of the Big Six, you had Malcolm. Then you had Stokely and Rapp and Gloria Richardson, North Carolina, and Fannie Lou Hamer, Mississippi. You had all these leaders. You had Adam Clayton Powell in the Congress. You had Thurgood Marshall in the Supreme Court, all at the same time. You only had 3 networks there. But all these leaders at the same time. Now you get to the 21st century. You got 100 channels, all kind of cable. But you only can have Barack or Jesse or Sharpton talk one Negro at a time. We ain't never just had one leader. How you go from the 60s with 30 national leaders to the 21st century and you choose, came with one Negro talk now. It's either going to be Barack or Sharpton or Jesse or came one of y'all talk, and y'all going for that. We ain't never had one leader. And where do you get now when you need more than ever? You got more problems than you ever had. And you got more ways to talk. Do you realize that Martin Luther King changed American history and never had a cell phone? You realize Thurgood Marshall changed the U.S. Constitution and never had email? You realize Elijah Muhammad built a movement all over this country and never went online?
That's right.
Here you got all this technology. Cell phone in your pocket, email, BlackBerry, online, offline, laptop, computer at your house, computer at the kitchen table. And you can't get 5 Negroes together to walk down the block and stand up for themselves.